What's good? What's good? This is Steeker. This is Steeker the podcast. Hey, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. Hey, I appreciate the love and support. Thank you. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully y'all enjoying it, y'all sharing it, y'all doing what y'all supposed to do to keep this movement going. Thank you, man. Hey, yo, I grew up at a time where you couldn't say certain things with the people that you hanging around with. You had to watch carefully what you do and what you say and how you say it. Because when you grow up in certain areas, I grew up in a land community. I grew up with poverty. I grew up with a lot of morenos. And I would say, man, you have to know how to move and be careful what you say. I remember at that time as a young kid, I used to hear Latinos in high school use the M word left and right. And I was never really a fan of that because I was like, I really didn't know the meaning behind it like that until, of course, I had conversations with people about it and I did my research and where that word came from. And I remember this one instructor by the name of Benji Kirby, great man, black teacher. And I had none but respect for him. At that point in my life, I wanted to do computer-aided drafting. If y'all know what it is, it's similar to architect, but just 3D. And I remember having those deep conversations about life with this man. And he used to tell me some of the things that he grew up on. And I remember there was students a lot. There was Latinos in our class, and in our class, there was one student that's all he used to say. I didn't see him around black people, but around Latinos and around us, it's in this, in that, and it's like, I was like, bro, there gotta be the better way for you to speak. But he's like, I'm from the hood and whatever. But Benji wasn't having it. The teacher, the instructor, he wasn't having it. He said, do me a favor. You respect me. You're in my class. I do not want to hear that word. Things got out of hand. Long story short, they almost came at blows, like chingazos. And I was like, hey, man. I sat down with Benjamin Kirby, and he explained to me the reason behind it. How some people, y'all know the history, man. I'm not trying to dive into too deep into it, but out of respect, he said, hey, whatever you do in life, Louis, you're a good man. Well, at the time, he was like, you're a young kid. You got a good head on your shoulders, man. Try to be different. Try to be different. Don't try to be like everybody else. Because it's not meant for everybody to act like that and make an excuse that they could use the word. And then, we got into deep conversations about it. And I respected him so much. We used to play basketball together at the gym. And, we built a good relationship. And knowing him and knowing his background and him knowing my background, you know what he told me? Embrace your culture. You're Latino. You're Salvadoreño. Embrace it. Love it. Enjoy it. Don't try to be something you're not. And when I hear artists talking about this word and its majority is Latino, it amazes me every time, man. It amazes me every time. If y'all hear any of my raps, from the beginning I started rapping till now, you will not find a record that I used the N-word. You're not. You're not. Why? Because I know how to respect my culture, and then I know the culture I'm stepping into. So there's this interview right now that I got a chance to check out with Charleston White. He talks about, the Latino community, the Mexican community using the N-word. And I've said this years ago. I still don't get why they use it. I don't. I've always thought that because I'm in a hip hop space, right? I'm performing my music, and I've always said, man, black people don't support Latinos. They don't want to hear Latino rap, whatever, long whoop de whoop, right? So at the time, my manager, Kundalini, RP Kundalini, he put me on stage, and this is when I first started. My music was okay. He said, I could tell you what you're doing wrong. I'm going to let you figure it out. I'm going to keep putting you on stage until you get it right. Keep performing. Don't give up. But what I need you to do is tighten up on your lyrics. Tighten up on your lyrics. Tighten up on the swag. Like everything, basically going through a, artist development. Going through that process. So I remember like yesterday, I hit the stage. I got this new record out. I'm in my own bag. I'm feeling the swag. I'm being me. I'm not trying to be nothing I'm not. All the whatever the butterflies, whatever whatever you feeling before you hit the stage. I wasn't feeling none of that. I felt like I gotta prove something. I gotta show that I'm capable of doing this. And mind you, with Coon back in the days, the type of crowd that was out there, it was like Apollo. It wasn't Latinos in the crowd. It was number black people. So if you could like basically show them that you're capable of doing something in their culture, they accept you. And they're like, okay, I could work with this. So I'm gonna drop that link in my description. I ain't gonna drop the Charleston White situation, but I'm gonna drop the link in my description. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna put the video public. I'm gonna put it on the link. I'm gonna put the link in my description so y'all can check it out. I perform and I'm doing my thing, and the crowd just vibing with me. They just vibing with me, right? They're loving the bars. They into the music. They don't even know if the person's white, black, Hispanic. They don't care. They just like, we vibing with it. So my manager at the time pulls me on the side. He said, now, do you believe it's a Latino and black issue, or was it always your music? And right then I was like, I was blown away, because it was never really about my culture. It wasn't really about me being Latino on stage and rapping in front of black people. It wasn't that. It was the fact that I didn't have the music that they could relate to, or they could feel like, hey, he got swag. He's in our culture, and we respect the way he's handling himself. And the fact that not one word on stage was the N word, they even respected him more. I had people come up to me. He said, man, for a Latino that ain't using the N word, I respect that, bro. Why? Because people always look at a Latino that comes from a hood background, or they see the entourage, and then they're like, oh man, he's like everybody else. But I'm not. And I chose not to use that word ever in my vocabulary. Never used it in my music. I had no use for it. Because at the end of the day, if you know where it comes from and you have no business with it, why are we talking about it? Why are we even like debating that conversation? I don't want to hear that you grew up in a black neighborhood, because guess what? Your parents ain't black. Your grandparents ain't black. And you don't go home with that kind of vocabulary. Let's just be real. Can you imagine? My parents come from El Salvador, Central America, and me coming home and using the N word left and right. First of all, they don't even speak English. They'd be like, what are you saying? Second of all, when they find out what it is, they'll be like, what are you doing? Because I don't talk to my parents like that. I'm talking Spanish to them all the way. So, you artist, you're a Latino artist, do you? I'm not here to judge you. Don't get it twisted. I'm not here to judge you, because a lot of people are like, oh, you judging. No. Do you? I'm not tripping. But always think about that. Because when I see a video, right, and I see a certain artist, he's doing his thing, and I see none but Latinos around them. I don't see not one black person or entourage of black people around them, and you're using the N word, and I'm like, what's going on here? It doesn't add up. Like, who gave them the pass? Cause even like, not knocking on Fat Joe. I know he's a legend. He's done things in the hip hop community. But I still don't get why Puerto Ricans get a pass sometimes. Maybe I need to do my research just a little bit more. But I'm not judging nobody. At the end of the day, do you. However, me personally, you ain't gonna hear that in my music. And you could go through my whole catalog of music and you be like, yeah, you ain't never used it, man. I even tap into the Spanish music, man, now these days. A little bit of everything. So for the upcoming Latino artists, come sign to Ride to Die, baby. Sign up to Ride to Die. We show you the way. You don't have to use them. Well, if you got swag, you got the look, and you know you could do it, come sign up Ride to Die. Now, I'm just saying, look, man, y'all could do better than that, man. Let's be real, man. I don't want to hear because you grew up in a neighborhood. You grew up in a Latino neighborhood. I didn't see the Morenos. I didn't see that. So why are you rapping about it? Like if you see the beautiful thing when you come up to one of my shows, you see a culture of people, Asians, white, Latinos, Indians, blacks, you name them. I bring that kind of crowd. And people are like, oh man, you got a different kind of fan base. Absolutely. Because that's the purpose of music. But I don't know, man. Does Charleston White have a point? Y'all let me know. Or am I crazy for thinking like this? I mean, I'm just saying, man. If you're an artist, you're a Latino artist, you ain't got to use the word, man. Come on, man. Dig deep in your roots, where you come from, where your culture comes from, where your background comes from. Because at the end of the day, if your last name is Rodriguez, embrace it. Embrace it, man. But hey, man, that's not here and there. I hope that this message could actually relate to a few people, because I know that a few people probably already having this kind of conversation, this topic. I saw them say cheese, and I feel the same way. I'm with Charleston White on that, man. I'm being honest with y'all. But hey, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, hit the gusta lo que mira, press like, share this video on all your social media platforms, drop a comment in the comment section. I'm always interacting with mi gente, tu sabes. Hit the notification bell to get notified. Visit the website r2drec.com, and always remember, have peace in your heart, have faith, and never give up. All right, one. What's good? What's good? Hey, this is Stico. Hey, somewhere on here, there's a link to my music page. Y'all go check out the music. We got video, visuals. We got audio. Trust me, we got some dope music. When you get a chance, subscribe to that channel as well. The music is on there. Hey, let's keep this rolling, man. Y'all know what it is, man. This is Stico. All right, one.